Hello YouTube. My name is the Crab Crusader, and today I will be doing a tutorial on the Infinite Portal Wranglers. And I don't know why I have a different voice, but it's not nasally, so I like it. Anyways, so today I'm going to be showing you guys a deck that gets you 27 damage in one turn on turn 5. You can even get it on turn 4 if you play it properly, and I'll show you. So, either way, it's obviously Illyrian, it's a magic deck. It's the only thing Portal Wranglers work in. Okay, so the core of this deck revolves around Lost in the Depths right here. So target a creature, obliterate cards in your deck with the same cost as the... I hate when that happens. See this shit? Bruh. Bruh. If you... Anyways, I've really wanted to do this for a long time. A lot of you guys have seen this deck already, but I want to explain the ins and outs of this, like, to a T, as much as I possibly humanly can. And I thought it would be a fun little idea. So here we are. Anyways, that's enough. It's enough fucking dialogue. So, target a creature, obliterate cards in the deck with the same cost as that creature, and draw a card. Alright, so for those who are new and don't know what obliterate means, it means destroy it. It means the card gets destroyed from your deck of 30 cards, and it's not in the game at all. It's not in your void, it's not in your deck, it's in the Shadow Realm. Alright? So this is the core. Obviously, you can run two because it's an epic, not a legendary, so you can run both. And then it comes down to, if you're going to be burning 1 mana cards, you want to fill your entire deck with 1 mana cards so that you can just fucking burn your entire deck and get straight to the combo, which is the Portal Wranglers, right? But if you're going to have 1 mana cards in your deck and you want to get to your Portal Wranglers, you may as well have cards that just draw you cards. So Dimension Door is one of the best cards to draw other cards with. So if you look here, anything that draws a card, it goes straight in the deck, right? Draw a card and reduce its mana cost by 1. If it costs less than your unlocked mana gems, so not only can you reduce the cost of this, but you could draw 2 Dimension Doors in a row for 1 mana, and the second one would be free. Shadow Scryer, Protected Ward at the start of your turn for C. Obviously, there's only so many cards in this game that can draw a card. This gets rid of Frontline, which is awesome for just going face and winning the game. So Levitate, really cool card. So yeah, there's only so many cards like this that will draw you a card. Then you have to start going to the secondary. The next best option is for C. Shadow Scryer is probably the best for C card because it's protected and warded. And it's a 1-1 on the board, which is gaining you favor, board controlling. It's distracting confused creatures. It's a dope card. Next up is Flying Carpet. It's also got for C. But this for C is every turn. These are one-off for Cs. This is my favorite card because it for Cs 2 for 1 mana. So 2 Hecker's Enchantresses, 2 Spellside Seers. Anything with the word for C in it gets picked, right? And if we put 2 Street Conjurers, we can get the spell boost, which will give us 30 damage with 3 spells, but that's later. So then I'm just going to use for C. Okay, that didn't work. Draw. So anything that draws me a card. So obviously, the next step is putting 2 mana cards in this deck. Form of Wisdom is one of the most insane 2 mana cards, and I'll tell you why. So not only are you drawing a card, it's reducing the spell, if you draw a spell next, by 3 mana, if it costs 3 or less, to 0. So whatever the spell cost is becomes 0. And then what you chain it with is Form of Unity, right? So you go here to the 3 mana spells. And then pretty much what you want to do is get a 0 cost Form of Unity by using for C your magic hero power to draw, the next card being Form of Unity for 0 cost, and you can do that twice because you can run 2 of these and 2 of these. So it's just insane synergy. So what you can do is so these do 9 damage each if you have 5 or more creatures on the board, and with Infinite Portal Wranglers you can literally fill your board 6 wide for 0 mana if you set it up on previous turns. So then you can do 18 damage for 0 mana and set your board up with 6 3/4s for 0. So the whole deck works because of the Lost in the Depths and obviously the Portal Wranglers. Now, lots of people make the common mistake of putting 2 Portal Wranglers so they have a better chance of drawing their Portal Wrangler. The big mistake here is with Lost in the Depths, you're burning all 1 mana cards. And then when you want to get to your form of wisdoms and your form of unities, you're going to be drawing a second Portal Wrangler instead of getting to your unities, your wisdoms, and the other most important card is Clone. So what this does is it copies the lowest cost creature in your hand. So this is going to copy a Portal Wrangler. And if you get your Portal Wranglers to 0 cost using this card, if I can find it, Warp Engineer, it'll make more sense when I play it, but for now let's just watch me hopelessly search for this card. I've got to have missed it. Oh, it's a 2 mana drop. I'm an idiot. Okay. That's okay. You live and you learn. I'm not editing anything out, as you can tell. Or I would have done this like take 26. Alright. So it's a one and done with me. I'm too lazy to edit shit. Anyways. 2 Warp Engineers. What they do, you choose a card that costs no more than your unlocked mana gems, and you reduce its cost by 2. And what this means is you have to have at least 4 mana unlocked before you play this, or it won't allow you to reduce the cost at all. If you had 3 mana unlocked, you can use a small bag of tricks to get to 4 and it works. But if you try to play this with 3, you can only reduce the cost of a Form of Unity, not a 4 mana card. So you have to have the unlocked mana crystals. Okay. Now this is the entire combo. This is like the raw combo. This is the raw bones of the combo. These are kind of additional, but they help out. These are definitely like necessary. This, you don't need a second Portal Wrangler. You just need one. Because what you can do is you can use Clone, and then you've effectively got 3 Portal Wranglers for 0 mana. Because trust me, if you have 2 Portal Wranglers, you're going to just be drawing your Portal Wranglers before your Warp Engineers. And it's just going to slow you down an extra turn, because 1 card a turn you don't want to be wasting. Every turn matters with this deck. So yeah, you pretty much got it perfect. The only thing I add here, it's a little cheeky card, and it helps me beat control decks. That's why I love it. It's called Magic Inks. It's such a flexible 2 mana magic card. So you create a base copy of the lowest cost spell in your hand. So what this means is I can copy a Form of Unity, and that means I can have 3 in a deck, because you're capped to 2 cards per unique card in a deck. See, you can only have 2 Unities, 2 Wranglers, 2 Magic Inks, 2 of anything. But with Magic Inks, you can copy a different card, so you can have a third copy. And with a Form of Unity doing 9 damage, if you have a board of 5 to 6 Wranglers, you can then do 9, 18, and then copy for 27 damage in 1 turn. Especially if you make these 0 cost Forms of Unities. That's how the combo works perfectly. Okay? Okay. And then, to fill out the deck, everything's perfect here. But the problem is there's only so many cards, like I said, that can draw a card or foresee. And once you've run out of those, you have to then lower your standards. And you're like, well, I need 1 mana drops so I can burn them and get straight to my combo. There's no point putting 2 mana drops in. So in a position like this, I just look for the next best thing. Okay. Well, what I'm seeing here is Assistant Alchemist reduces the cost of a card by 1. So you could reduce the cost of a Unity if you needed to, or a Warp Engineer, or a Clone. So these are the next best thing. You could also argue having something like a Form of Power is good, because you can take the ward off the enemy god. But a lot of gods don't use wards, so I'm not going to bother with that. You could even use Wiccan Trapper to remove some weapons. It might not even be that stupid. But what I'm going to do here is use Illuminate. So Illuminate's the last Foresee card I didn't put in the deck. So perfect. We've pretty much got every card that draws a card of Foresees. The only 2 that don't reduce mana cost. So that's a good substitution. You can always substitute the reduced mana cost with the Street Conjurer. You could use a Rampart. There's so many different options, but I like the reduced mana cost. I find it to be the most flexible. Anyways, let's get into game. We're going to go into a ranked game so I can give you a real experience of the do's and don'ts of the deck. And I was going to go into a custom game and just show you all the combos, but let's hope this goes well, because we're trying to do this in one take. We don't want to have to edit this game out. Just skips to a different scene and I'm wearing different clothes and it's fucking daylight outside. All in one take. Anyways, Jesus, this is why you go custom games. We just got cucked. That's alright. Well, this happens. I don't want you guys to sit through pointless shit, so I'm going to Alt F4 here and quit. Because if we were to find an opponent, it would have taken less than 10 seconds, so waiting the extra 180 seconds is just stupid. They need to remove that from the game. I hope they're watching this video because it just shits me. I'm going to try and keep it as child-friendly as possible, but it's bad. Okay. I'll be back. Again, I could have filled my water up before I started the video, but I do shit on the fly. I believe in authenticity. I don't prepare shit. You get me raw and uncut. Alright, here we go. This is pretty much the main bit. I probably could have removed the entire first 10 minutes explaining what each card does, but that's the more in-depth. I'll put like a timestamp. Like, the first 10 minutes is kind of, you know, the foreplay of the deck. This is the real, you know, time to pound, if you know what I mean. As I was saying, kid-friendly, right? Anyways. I don't think I'm capable of kid-friendly videos, but whatever. Okay, this is the best hand. So you want a mulligan to get lost in the depths in every opening hand, but you always want to make sure you have a 1-mana creature to put it on. It's always too risky relying on your opponent because it takes away consistency and you're slowed down by an entire turn. But if I can change 3 cards over, the next best thing is not a Form of Unity. We want to get one from a Wisdom to make it cheaper. Our next best thing is a Warp Engineer. So once you get Lost in the Depths, this is the cheapest and best way to use Lost in the Depths. So you can make the cost of Lost in the Depths 0, right? So then I'm saving my pip for when I really need it. I'm not just using it willy-nilly. And there you go. I've just removed every 1-mana card in this deck, leaving me with the not exactly 9 cards, which is all the 2-mana cards I have. Well, technically 10 if you count that. And now I'm going to use these to foresee the next cards. I prefer using cards off my hand rather than using my Protect Hero power, and my reasoning is, even though it's more efficient to use Clear Mind before using Flying Carpets, the problem is they get such a big board state that if you just keep Clear Minding, there's nothing for them on the board and they end up killing you before you get the combo out. So Porter Wranglers is next. I'm pretty much going to coin here because I can do both, and then a Form of Wisdom. It's not a bad card to have, but I don't need it, so I'm going to skip it. So then I'm 1 card closer to my next Warp Engineer, right? I don't need my coin either. It's not really helping me here. Unless I have both Warp Engineers, having my coin, it doesn't help. Being able to foresee and make sure I'm not drawing cards that aren't going to get me my combo straight away, more important. So ideally, the So now my headset cut out, dude. Raw and uncut. Just like my headset. Alright, so the order in which you want to get your cards, if you had a choice, is Lost in the Depths, 1-mana creature together, 2 Warp Engineers, Porter Wrangler, and then Clone. Right? You can use a Form of Wisdom to get a clone for 0 mana before turn 4, and you can set up 2 Warp Engineers and your Porter Wrangler clone on 1 turn, which is like the most ideal combo because it's quick. Here I can't use my Porter Wrangler because I only have 3 unlocked mana, so I'm going to foresee 1 first. I always choose foresee 1 over foresee 2 because sometimes when you use Clear Mind, one of the cards is good and the other's bad. Here both are bad. So I don't want a Unity, I don't want a clone. The next card I'll get is either a Form of Wisdom. I'm going to take out the biggest creature, get the most bang for my buck. Realistically, I'm just looking for my other Warp Engineer, but I can start playing them now. Once I hit 4 mana, I can use 1 Warp, 1 Clear Mind. Never clone until this is 0 cost, though. Okay, that went well. He just lost 5 damage off the board, so that's going to help with me staying alive. That's why I prefer to play the creatures over just using my Clear Mind. Okay, that's not ideal. This guy's doing some like form of control deck. Alright, we got fucked with the mulligan, but this is okay. We finally got the Warp Engineer and a Form of Wisdom we're happy to get. We want forms of wisdom in this case. As soon as we get our Porter Wranglers, our Warp Engineers, see how I've reduced the cost by 2? As soon as we get both warps, the next best thing is form of wisdoms, and then getting the 0 cost form of unities. That's the next stage to set up. I could make like a dot point of priorities, but that's pretty much what you do. You'll understand once you start playing this. These clone cards are so important. Without this, the deck doesn't work. You can even go without the forms of Lost in the Depths. Sorry, technically they're not a necessity. This clone card is 100% a necessity. So here I can use Warp, and here's how the combo works. Now with 2 Warp Engineers, I've reduced the cost twice by 2 from 4 to 0. Now Clone will copy the lowest cost creature in your hand, but it doesn't just copy the creature, it copies the stats. So now I've got 2 0 costs. And what Porter Wrangler does is the raw is add a copy of the last creature played to your hand. So then you can just create like an infinite loop from the game's mechanic. So obviously I played the Warp Engineer first, but now that the next 2 cards I played were Porter Wranglers, I can just infinitely generate them. It's one of the most satisfying things to do in the game. A lot of the times your opponent will just forfeit before it even gets to the combo, but let's see how he handles this on turn 5. Mind you, this is turn 5, and I've got a board of, 3 attack, 4 health, and I've got that times 5. So 7 times 5 points of value, 35. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 damage on the board. And this guy's got, what, 2 little creatures? It's not even fair. It's not fair. And now I pretty much can comfortably board control if I want, or I can go face. Either, it doesn't really matter. I prefer to board control, and I'll explain why. A lot of nature players can heal, so there's no point just going face and then him getting favorable trades, and then he just keeps healing. I want to make sure I can just kill him in one turn, and I don't have to worry about my board state. So here we've got the form of wisdom, so we can set up... We don't want a form of unity, so we can push this back, and then we can draw this card. But the problem is, we're going to draw the other form of unity, probably. Who knows? Now I just board control. What I do here doesn't really matter, but it's always safe to board control. It gives them like a 0% chance of winning. And then you want to use your favor shop. You want to curve out your mana, because it just hedges your bets. And you know what could happen? If I put Tartesian Improviser on the Porter Wrangler, I can then summon infinite 5/4s instead of 3/4s. So he had a little counterplay here, so it was good that I board controlled. Otherwise he would have got a bit more value out of me. Okay, there's my second form of unity. So that's 18 damage. But what I can do here is use magic inks. So now instead of 18 damage, I literally have lethal. Like, quite literally. What was the last card played? I don't want to take the risk. I know I've got a clone here, so this is fine. Also, what I can do here is play my Warp Engineer that I got from the Portal Wranglers to make the cost of the other clone less. And you'll always have 1 extra Warp Engineer, because you'll have to play Warp before Portal. So then next turn, what I've got is, I've got 9, 18, 27 damage for a total of 3 plus 1 mana and 0. So 4 mana to do 27 damage. I literally have lethal here. This was the ideal situation I wanted to show you guys, and I did it in one take. So I'm just really grateful. I just hope he doesn't forfeit. But you get the point. Bang, 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 he's dead. I literally have 27. And all I have to do is use my clone. So I can go 6 wide. And once I've got 6 on the board... You only need 5 on the board, mind you. So if you're in a really tough spot and you don't have the opportunity to get 5, you can put 4 or 5 on the board and you still get a bit of damage out. But here I just clone. It cost me 2 mana. I've got 4 now. All I have to go is go wide. I don't even have to attack with the 6 damage here, and I don't need to put a 6th card. Once I put 5, it's just lethal. Bang, 9 damage. Bang, 9 damage. Bang! 6, because he doesn't have 9, but there should be overkill in this game. And yeah, I had 9 damage, plus 3, plus 3. I had 6 extra as well. So I had 12 overkill there. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and if you guys can please like and subscribe, would mean a lot to support the channel and support me. You don't have to, but it is free, and yeah. Otherwise, please leave some comments in the box below and tell me what I can improve on. Tell me any questions you have. If I didn't explain something or I missed something, I'd really appreciate that. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned a bit. So yeah, take care.